So at the top of your page, you've got your divisibility rules chart. The point of having a divisibility rules chart is because it's going to help you find factors, okay? Or whether a number is divisible by another number. And we'll use a lot of this when you're talking about fractions, okay? And this is kind of an introductory lesson into fractions and how you can simplify fractions. In other words, for simplifying is reducing fractions, things like that, okay? As well as division itself, okay? So when you're looking at your chart, these are your rules, and you're going to want to use this as much as you can, okay? So for instance, any number, the last digit is even, it is divisible by 2, okay? We know that, okay? We know that the number 35 is not divisible by 2 because it is not even, okay? But we know that 35 is divisible by 5 based on this rule right here, which is the last digit is a 5 or a 0. And since the number 35 ends in a 5, we know that it is divisible by 5, okay? 35, is the number 35 divisible by 10? No, because the rule for 10 is the last digit has to end in a 0, okay? Now, so these are just, look at the digit in the ones place. So looking at the last digit, 2, 5, and 10, okay? Check the digit sum. What is a sum?
Like the...
What is sum? What is a sum? Annika?
An answer to an addition.
Good. It's an answer to the addition problem. Okay, so your answer to the addition problem. So for the number 3, you would add the digits together and see if it's divisible by 3. Okay? For the number 6, it has to be divisible by 3 and 2. Okay? So again, we're just going to go through these rules. And I know this does not make sense. This is going to be the hardest day that you have. Okay? It's going to be the hardest day that you have, unsure of what you're doing here. But I promise you're going to get there. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this divisibility chart and the rules to help us create what we call a factor chart or factor T chart. Okay? So this is going to be a factor T chart. A factor T chart. Okay, so for example, let's take the number 24. Okay, so hence the letter T on there, so your T chart. So go ahead and do that, please. And again, what is a factor? What is a factor? Okay, Bryson.
A factor is to a multiplication problem. It's one of the
Numbers.
numbers that lead up to the answer.
Okay, so it's a factor times a factor equals a product. So if I'm making a factor T chart, I'm looking for this guy and this guy. So in other words, ladies and gentlemen, so I'm looking for factor times a factor to equal 24. Okay? So I'm looking for the two numbers that are multiplied together that can make 24. And I know that you're saying, oh, this, and this, and this, and this, and this. And you can think of all of them right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay? But I want you to go in order because you'll understand why as we continue going. You need to be right. Okay? Obviously, is 24 divisible by 1?
Yes.
Why? Every number is divisible by 1. Okay? 1 times 24 is 24. All right? Now, is the number 2, is our 24 divisible by 2? Well, let's go up and look at my rule. The 2 is the last digit is even. Is 24 an even number?
Yes.
How do I know that?
It's 2 and 4 are even.
No, don't say 2 and 4. You're only looking at the last digit.
4.
So 4 is even. So Maggie, 2 times what gets me 24? Great job. So 12. See, again, here's my factor times a factor. 2 times 12 is 24. All right, let's look at the number 3. Is 24 divisible by 3? Well, let's look up at our rules. 3, the sum of the digits is divisible by 3. This is what I mean, the sum of my digits. So I'm going to look at the number 224. So this means I'm going to add 2 plus 4. What's 2 plus 4? 2 plus 4 is 6. Is 6 divisible by 3?
Yes.
Yes, it is. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Okay, so that means I know that this number is divisible by 3. So it's 3 times what is 24? 8. Okay? All right, is 24 divisible by 4? Well, let's find my 4. Look at the last 2 digits. Well, that's only 2 digits here. Is it divisible by 4? So in other words, this one you're just going to have to know, and this one you're just going to have to know because this is the last 2 digits and the last 3 digits. And usually our numbers are only going to be 2 or 3 digits. Okay? So that one you're just going to have to know. Oh, real quickly, does anybody notice a number that's not up there in our rules?
4. I mean, 5. 7. 1.
Well, 1 isn't. Sorry, that's right.
7.
Brady.
0.
That's true. Yeah, you're right. Annika. 7. There is no rule for 7. Okay? There is no rule for 7. So that's just one of those you're going to have to just divide. Okay? All right, so going back to 4. Is 24 divisible by 4?
Yes.
How many times? 6. Excellent job. Okay? Now the number 5. Is 24 divisible by 5?
No.
Looking at my 5 rule, the last digit is a 5 or a 0. Is 24 divisible by 5?
No.
No, why not, Adriana? It ends in a 4. Great job. Okay, there's no other way to explain it. It ends in a 4, or you could say it doesn't end in a 0 or a 5. Okay, so we would just leave that blank. Okay, or the reality is when you're doing this, you don't even have to list it. You can just not list a 5. But I'm just kind of showing you your thought process, okay? So now I'm going to keep going. 6. Is 24 divisible by 6?
Yes.
Well, yes, you know that, but I want you to look at the rule. The rule is the number is divisible by 3 and 2. Do I have 2 and 3 right here?
Yes.
So automatically you should have a 6. Okay? And we know that 6 times what is 24? 4.
And also it's reversed.
Oh, and also it is what?
Reversed.
Reversed. Do you notice that 6 is here? So really, we don't have to have that. Why? Because it's there. So at that point, you're done finding all the factors. Because if your number like 6, we had 6 times 4, wasn't 6 times 4 the same thing as 4 times 6?
Yes.
Absolutely. So now we're done. So we could say the factors for 24 are 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6. And really you can leave 5 and nothing, that's fine. Or you can take that off as well. Okay, so please make sure. Okay? All right, let's go farther down just so I can have it on the same page. Let's find the number 42. Let's do a harder one. 42. Let's do the number 42. Is 42 divisible by 1?
Yes.
Why?
Because every number is divisible by 1.
Great job. Every number is divisible by 1. So 1 times 42 is 42. All right. What's the rule for number 2? What's the rule for 2?
That's even.
2. Is 42 even?
Yes.
Yes. So, oh my goodness, I don't know 2 divided or 42 divided by 2. So yes, if you don't know, because I'm saying that for the 4 and the 7, sometimes you're going to have to just divide. So if you don't know, I know that it's divisible by 2, but I don't know what it is. You're going to have to end up dividing to the side, okay? All right? So 2 can go into 4 perfectly twice. 2 can go into 2 once. So we know it's 21. All right, now we have to do this. Is 42 divisible by 3?
No.
Why I look up, this is why I want you to watch the rule. 42 The sum of the digits is divisible by 3. So the sum of my digits. So that's 42. What's 4 plus 2? What's 4 plus 2? 6. Is 6 divisible by 3? Yes. So that's why I want you to slow down. So we know the number is divisible by 3. So this is an instance where you're going to have to come over here and divide 42 divided by 3. And do that now and see what is the other factor. Mm-hmm.
42 and then the other one is 24. So we're going to also have the same answer.
Go ahead and divide 42 divided by 3 on the side of your paper. Okay, 3 can go into 4 once. 3 can go into 12 4 perfect times. Don't need to continue because I know. So ladies and gentlemen, I know that 3 times 14 is 42. Okay, that's why it's so important with your divisibility rules. You're going to find numbers that you never thought that were divisible by 3. All right, what about the 4? There's a 4 rule. Look at the last 2 digits. Well, unfortunately, there's only 2 digits. Okay, is 42 divisible by 4?
No.
Think about your facts, guys. What's 4 times 10?
40.
40. What's 4 times 11?
44. 48.
So is 42 divisible by 4? 4 times 10 is 40. 4 times 11 is 44. It's in between, okay? So what about 5? Is 42 divisible by 5?
No.
Because what is my 5 rule? The last digit is a 5 or a 0. So 42 is not divisible by 5. What about the 6 rule?
Yes.
The number is divisible by 3 and 2. Is 3 and 2 here? So automatically, ladies and gentlemen, 6 has to be there. So 6 times what is 42? 7.
And we don't even write the 7 down because of your.
So my next number, great job, Noah. My next number is 7. Is my number divisible by 7? And the answer is yes, but guess what?
It's already written down.
It's already there. So now we've done. We found all the factors there are.
Well, there could be more.
There's not, though. And I'll tell you why, because we have them there. We did 6 times 7. What's the number is after 6? 7. Well, it's already there. So that means when you find it, when you have a repeat on the other side, you're done. Okay? Because is there anything different between 6 times 7 and 7 times 6 if you were to flip it? No. All right, so again, let's list our factors for 24. 42, Miss White. 42. 1 times 42. 2 and 21. 3 and 14. 6 and 7. Okay. I want you to keep this out, and I want you to go and get into your workbook, and I would like for you to turn to page 292. 292. 292. All right, 292. At the bottom, let's look at 2, 3, 4, 5. Please look at 2, 3, 4, 5. What are the instructions, Everett, for 2, 3, 4, and 5?
Is 5 a factor of the numbers? Right, yes or no?
So, in other words, is 5 a factor? Well, we discussed what a factor is, right? So, a factor is a factor times a factor equals a product. This is the same thing. So, in other words, is 5 a factor of each of these numbers? Is 5 times something 27?
No.
Or we could say, is 27 divisible by 5? Is 27 divisible by 5? No. Kirsten, tell me why.
Because there's not a factor that was.
Okay, well, look at your 5 rule. Just say it. The last digit is what?
The last digit is a 5 or.
So is the last digit a 5 or a 0? No. Okay. Is 30, is 5 a factor of 30?
Yes.
Why?
Because it has a 0 in
It has a 0 at the end. You don't even have to know what the other factor is on this one, Noah. You just have to say, is 30 divisible by 5? And we know that it is yes, because my number ends in a what? A 0. Is 36 divisible by 5?
No.
Why not, Bryson? Great. What about the number 53?
No.
Very simple, guys. Using those rules, it's very simple. Okay? All right, moving on. Turning your page or looking at the next page. 293. Okay? So again, this is your factors of 24. Oh, look at us. We already did that, right? Okay, let's go through it again. You're going through and you're going to find your factors. Again, your factors, a factor times a factor equals a product. So is 24 divisible by 1?
Yes.
Why?
Because
Every number is divisible by 1. So 1 times 24 is 24, so I've got the factors 1 and 24. Is 24 divisible by 2, Adriana?
Yes.
Why? What's the rule for 2, sweetheart? Last digit is even. Number 4 is even, so therefore it is divisible by 2. So ladies and gentlemen, 2 times what is 24? 12. 2 times 12 is 24. Therefore, what are my two factors? What are my two factors? 2 and 12. Is 24 divisible by 3?
Yes.
Well, what is my 3 rule? Stella, read it out loud.
The 3 rule would be sum of digits is divisible by 3.
So my sum of my digits. So my digits are 2 and 4. 2 plus 4 is 6. Is 6 divisible by 3? Yes. So therefore, this is divisible by 3. So what is 24 times what? 3 times what gets me 24?
8.
8. 3 times 8 is 24. So therefore, what are my factors? 3 and 8. Good job. Okay. All right, now 4. One of those you're just going to have to divide. Is 24 divisible by 4?
Yes.
Yes. So therefore, 4 times what is 24? 4 times 6 is 24. Okay. So therefore, 4 and 6 are my factors. Now, I know that the chart has stopped. Why did the chart stop? Why didn't I keep on going? Why didn't I keep on going? Elizabeth.
If you get 2 repeated numbers, it means you stop.
Okay, exactly right. So is my number 24 divisible by 5?
No.
No, because it doesn't end at 5 or a 0. Is my number divisible by 6?
No.
How do I know it's divisible by 6? Because I have a 2 and a 3. So 6 should be on there. Is 6 on there?
No.
Is 6 on there?
Yes.
Yes, it is. It's right here. So therefore, I'm done. Okay? You don't have to rewrite it. Because how I would write it would be this. 6 times 4. Well, isn't that the exact same thing? Yes. Okay. So let's move on to the factors of 39. 39. Is 39 divisible by 1?
Yes.
How do I know, Maggie, that 39 is divisible by 1? Okay, and not only that, every number is divisible by 1. So 1 times 39 is 39. So what are my factors? 1 and 39. I would like to see if you can figure out what the other set of the factors are.